Steven, do you remember last week? Do you remember last week? I brought up a ghost story, right? I
Yes,
was like, I
dude,
learned.
I learned something that ghosts are allergic to. That's something.
Okay, so Steven, I learned some things about ghost stories because last week, if you haven't seen it, go check out our episode last week. But like briefly, I'll tell you there was a story in which a guy like had a knife and they went ghost hunting. He went ghost hunting with his friends and he was very scared and he stabbed someone thinking they were a ghost. And I was like, that's insane. How would anyone think that it's a ghost? And he's trying to stab him. It was a whole story, but it led me to think, how many stories are there where someone interacted with someone and believed they were a ghost? So I was like, I wonder, like that can't be the only one, right? It's not, Stephen. There are
Oh my
so
God,
many
this
stories.
is this is actually a whole defense plea in the courtroom.
Steven,
Actually,
there are so many stories. Okay, I'm only gonna say one for now. We'll like make it a segment because there are so many of these, and a lot of them are bunkers, and a lot of them are like interesting and fun. This
ooh, the
okay.
segment should be called "Boo" or "Boo." Like you're a fucking liar. Boo. Like
Boo.
boo or boo.
I love that.
I,
Steven. Okay, and so far our first official boo or boo. Dude, okay, the year is 1803. All right, it's forever ago. It's in the in the UK. There are, and this blows my mind. Okay, this blows my mind. There are a string of occurrences in which numerous people claim to be pestered by a ghost. Okay, like.
Sounds like it's the town guy that no one liked. And they
Like
just,
you
you're
know,
not real, buddy. He's like, no,
yeah,
I am.
I
My name is
promise you I'm a real
Fitzgerald.
I just want $1. And they're like, I'm sorry. You're a ghost. You're dead to us. Get out. Like it's the first time anyone's been ghosted, right?
It's the first ghosting.
It's the first ghost. So he's like, but apparently he's like, or this ghost is going around and he's tormenting people, messing with like a pregnant lady and then this like elderly lady and like everyone like all these people are having different interactions with this ghost and they're all negative and this but every single one of these people says it's a ghost. None of them are like, oh, it's Dave,
Could
the
just be
guy down
Dave.
there. Like they're just like, he's a ghost. Like all of them, as if it's just like
No, no normal man would treat a woman this way. You haven't seen 2025, miss.
oh man, totally. Just prepare yourself. Time travel's real. They just think we're ghosts when we go back. That's what happens. But dude, this is bonkers to me. So there was a man named Thomas Millwood. Okay, he was a bricklayer. This
It was
man,
me. It's my
it was
ancestor.
essentially your ancestor, dude. So this man, Thomas Millwood, bricklayer, he's super proud of what he does. He's very professional. So much so that he makes sure that his bricklaying outfit is pristine every single day.
It's
He
Derek
makes
Zoolander.
pretty much. So, Steven, so this guy wears a white top, like a white collared shirt, button up, white pants and like a white apron over it. It's all white, right? With white boots. He's white, like head to toe, right?
He's
This man's the funniest part about this story is this man's wife is like, I beg of you, wear anything else to work today. There is a ghost out there and people are mad. And now here's the thing, Steven. She's like, and this is a point of public record. She's on record saying, you were already accused of being a ghost twice this week. And he's like, nay, this is what I wear. I'm a proud bricklayer. If there's a ghost, be damned or whatever. He's like, I'm going to work wearing the garb of my people. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna go lay some bricks. Stephen, there was another man named Francis Smith who was like, I've had it up to here with the likes of these ghosts.
These bricklaying ghosts.
Bricklaying ghosts. So Francis Smith takes out like a shotgun and he goes out ghost hunting. He's like, I'm gonna go kill some ghosts. And he's like, he sees Thomas Millwood and he aims his weapon, says basically, what the hell are you? And shoots him in the jaw.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Kills him, shoots this man. Steven, there are so many stories like this. And this is what happens, dude. He goes to trial. First, they try him for murder. He's convicted of murder. Guilty on the charges. They sentence him to death, Steven. But guess what? Guess what? They change it. They change it. They're like, oh, we changed our mind. Instead of death, you're going to get a year of hard work. And that was it.
He may have been a ghost
He might
upon further inspection. I
actually.
mean, his jaw did blow into 1,000 pieces when you
Was
shot
he
him.
wearing all white? He's a ghost. He's a ghost. But dude, so this
That's
is the
such a
truth.
wild
So
defense,
it's a
dude.
wild defense, and it's worked numerous times. Now, multiple variations of this exist in which the people claim, or not just claim, but like they're acquitted due to insanity. But here's the thing, Stephen, they believe this in their day-to-day life. That there are ghosts, and they believe in their day-to-day life that these are what ghosts look like, and they believe in their day-to-day life that you can shoot, stab, destroy whatever a ghost. At what point? How is it insane? Like it's been insane the whole time, right? But they're just like free to be around the world and be like, "Oh no, you're insane until you do the thing," and then like, what
until
are you talking
until
about?
you until you until
Until
you
you try to be
perform the final act,
no,
and
it's not
then we gotta wag our finger at you like, no, you killed another real human.
Can you imagine?
Gee,
Can you imagine if this was the plot? Like if this were the plot to Ghostbusters, it's just Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Harold Ramis
electrocuting people to death with these
arrested,
guns.
right? Just yes, they actually are killing. They're
They're
making.
effective on ghosts because they're also effective on humans, assholes.
It's just like you and I going around just stabbing people through the chest with wooden stakes and be like,
It's literally the magician's thing, the vampire hunting magician's thing. Like
there is a case. I'll talk about this next week. Don't look it up. There was a case from around the early 2000s in which someone actually used a vampire defense. I learned that.
really,
We'll talk about that next week. I didn't want like I just wanted to bring up this ghost one because it was fresh in my mind. But yeah, that's true. Dude, there's so many of these. And so yeah, we'll talk about them probably not always as a cold open because they get kind of dark sometimes. So, but
yeah,
ghosts are real and a good defense. So if you ever murder someone, say you thought they were ghosts. All right.
they were wearing all white.
There
It was
were
her wedding day.
Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
Every week, my best friend Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles and ghosts that life throws our way in order to get something done. Most recently, we've been working on a supernatural superhero culty comedy comic called Deathless. We're also working on this erotic action adventure comedy vampires
Lust filled. No.
comic. Oh,
Comedy because everything we do has to have a
it does. I enjoy it. But
called the James Gunn formula. It's a really good one.
it works,
It
apparently.
really is.
I enjoy. I like adding humor to things, even the most dramatic things. But we work on comic books and we talk about our lives every week. This week, Stephen, what did you actually want to get done this week?
I wanted to get 1 or 2 pages done. I got like 75 to 80% of 1 page done.
Okay, I wanted to do as much as possible, preferably color up to 3 pages. I didn't have the best week. I colored 1.5 pages, so I didn't do that great
We
either.
still
Right?
so we both did like a 75% push.
75%. Well, 75%. That's not the word. Like I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying that like if our issues are a ghost, they're still alive because we have.
Progress is progress, like we always say. You really should push to get as much done as possible as always, but something is still better than nothing.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, it's been a weird week. Well, I had some good news and some bad news this week. It sucks because like that's how it feels lately. I mean, I know that's just kind of how life is in general. Like, it's just you get something, you're like, yeah, okay, it looks like everything's looking up. We're taking steps toward the top, and then it's like someone Spartan kicks you down a little bit, and you're like,
Mhm.
okay, back to this, and it's just that like Sisyphean like pushing the rock up the hill over and over.
Just
Well,
when you're about to get it over, you feel
yeah.
like this good thing's gonna push it over the, and then you gotta fall back a few steps.
Yeah, dude. But this week we were very happy to find out that there is a wedding venue that is very affordable and very beautiful and something that will totally work for a wedding in the budget that like we're around right now, given the kindness of the GoFundMe that we were able to accumulate. So we do have a place where, we already put it in, or we're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna get married. So we have a place to get married. Unfortunately, my fiance recently her job cut her pay down to like more than 50%. And then today she just got an email basically saying that all of the freelance contractors are just basically out of a job unless further and unless given further
Jeez.
notice. So we're going to have to figure some things out. It's good. It's scary as heck. And yeah, so that was just today. So it's like super fresh. Not great. It's very
Dang.
terrifying. Yeah, dude. And like it's AI. So if you're out there right now and you're like, I'm gonna use this to write a book or whatever, like that's what's happening. It's taking people's jobs and destroying things and
It
ruining.
just blows my mind that they can't do something in those kinds of industries where it's like, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you think some regulation would happen to, help people because it has to be one or the other. It has to either be, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, my bad, but like we have to do some sort of universal basic income thing where it's like, hey, these jobs are all being destroyed and there's nothing else that's comparable. Like what are we like I've been myself going on like monster.com and all career builder and all these like places and I'm like, what am I supposed to do to make money? Like how do you make it's like it's like impossible to find a good paying or decent paying or livable paying job that it's like you literally have to go for 18 hours a day just to survive. It's like it's insane. So we're struggling a bit. We've gotten a couple of editing jobs. I did like a drawing commission today that helped a little. It's like we're just doing everything. So if you're out there right now and you need something edited, or if you need a beta reader, or if you need help on a query package, we can help you at ktaeditorial.com. Also, you just contact me on Twitter and stuff, and I'll talk to you. But yeah, dude, it's been a struggle. So yeah, we're hoping to sell more comics and do all the stuff. I've been working really hard on getting my book out, like getting that ready so we can hopefully get some like
it's
I don't know some
ugh.
sales. Um,
It's just so scary because it's like this is the start. Like this
yeah,
isn't even the end game of these. And like I've always wondered, like, what do these corporations that like produce articles? Like this is just for this example. Like it's like these things are gonna self-consume. Like if you produce things that you need people to digest, like people can't afford. Like you're just permanently trying to sell people stuff at the low and with the lowest labor possible, and eventually you're not paying people to produce stuff, so therefore across the entirety of it all people don't have money to spend on things, so it's like
yeah,
you're
well,
literally destroying your own ecosystem.
of
It's
course.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's vampiric, like it's literally squeezing out any bit of like funds they get. And the truth is that they don't care, because like they
They'll
already
just move to the next
don't
thing
move to the
because
next.
they're multi billion, so
Yeah,
they just
they
switch
already
to the
have
next.
sustainable income, like generational wealth, and like they don't need it, and they don't care who they destroy in the meantime. They're gonna step on necks and build the pyramids one by one. Let everything underneath just turn and like mummify. That's what's happening, and it sucks and it's scary. And dude, and to make matters like crazier, it's like everything's this weird pyramid scheme where it's like, okay, okay, like, okay, we're trying our best. We've been doing this podcast, we're making comics, we're doing, putting in all of this work, hopefully it pays off like monetarily, but like there's nothing there's nothing we can do to promise that. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Mhm.
scariest thing about all of this. Like no matter what, there is no true meritocracy. There are people who just like show up on TikTok and then they're suddenly famous and they get book deals and all this stuff. And then there are other people who literally push that boulder up the hill the best they can in every conceivable fashion and it just rolls back down over and
And
over
that's
again.
it.
And it's and like the truth is, like you and I, for instance, right? We have each other, right? We're rolling like this particular boulder. We have our own boulders to roll, but like this particular boulder, we push it together. And then like as we do it, there are people watching right now who know that their hands are all over that freaking boulder and
Yeah,
we're
we have
pushing
so many hands on that
and
boulder.
we're thankful for that. But it sucks that, it's there's no absolute path to finding more hands on your boulder. Like there's no absolute, no matter how good you are, no matter how wide you spread your net or how specifically you aim your voice, it doesn't, there's no absolute. And you can't necessarily follow someone else's blueprint. So it's kind of terrifying, and I understand why people get so discouraged. I get really discouraged, and I understand like I just like it sucks because I know we're gonna keep trying, but it's like I wish I just knew what little tweaks we could make to get
To
those
hone in
yeah to
and
help us. Because it's, it sucks, because we're not the people who are going to be like, oh, yeah, push our boulder, we'll be over here. We're going to be like, okay, yeah, well, let's also grab yours while we're, while we're
Hmm.
walking up the hill. We're going to try to do this together. We're going to just everything will rise, hopefully. But sometimes it feels like we're freaking sinking and it stinks because I don't know. I'm just like shaking it and I'm trying to like catch my breath when I can. But like, oh my God, Steven, sometimes it's so exhausting. Like, why? Why? Ah. But anyway, if you're out there right
And
now,
especially like with
what
like
are we
what you're
telling
dealing with just with your like data like KT's day-to-day work. Like she can't even just have
her?
peace. You know, that's horrible.
Yeah, dude. And it's I don't know. It just sucks. And it's just something that we have no control over. She was working as hard as she possibly could. She was just given a raise right before that happened. Like what a slap in the face and so aggressive and needlessly, and just it's disgusting. And it's just and all it was a merger where it's like, this company is like, yeah, sure, we'll give you a raise because unbeknownst to you, we're going to go and sell it, our company to this other person who will do what they want with you. And it's like, okay, great, thanks. And like, how often is that happening? All the time, unfortunately.
All
So,
you can hope is that like because society hopefully will continue to push and reject. Like, dude, it's crazy because like there's so many articles now that like you can clearly see were just written
yeah,
by AI. Like it's
they're,
and
they're
dude, like I hate the fact that like search engines even use AI now because they just straight up give you false
they
information
really
now.
do. They really
Like
do.
it used to be like people would try to troll and put false information on the internet, but Google would search for like what seems to be the most valid thing and then post it. Now it's like the search engine AI just fucking makes up shit, dude.
They
Like just
do.
straight makes it up. Like it's not even true. It's like
It's so funny. I mean, it's laughable, and of course, it's going to get better. And sometimes it's indistinguishable from normal writing, so it makes it a struggle. It's a complicated, weird struggle. And unfortunately, the people who are in charge of it and behind it, or who have any power, surrounding that, are only going to help it improve when
yeah.
that's just going to help it get stronger on our necks, which is frustrating because, of course, it's going to be a matter of, well, if you're not using it, then, you're going to suffer the consequences while we thrive. And it's just going to be another situation. Like every situation seems to be that pyramid scheme where it's like, here's a small percentage of people up here who are benefiting from this thing and everyone else is suffering somehow, but who cares? We're the Jetsons and we live up in the sky and who cares
Hmm.
what's down below Flintstones? And I just like, why, Steven? Uh, anyway, so I'm sorry. I'm frustrated that because like we're going through this and I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna make this work and what we can possibly do. And we're trying. So if you're out there right now and you need a commission for art, you need silly songs written, you just want to throw some money in my Venmo, I'm open to it. I love you. Um, but
Things
anyway,
I would do,
all
like
right, dude.
stare up
Let's,
in my shirt off.
God. Anyway, OnlyFans. No, no, never. But Steven, all right, let's shift the vibe a little. Let's do a questions from the colony to bring the mood up. Let's
Ooh, it's a solemn day at the colony. We're both kinda sad, so we gotta see if the people we love more than anything got some questions for me and Anthony. 'Cause it's questions from the colony. We really fucking need them, yeah. Questions from the colony.
woo. So every once in a while, as Stephen and I are trying to build this colony, we allow the people that's you watching right now to ask us anything you want, and we're here to answer. We're here to do our best to give you all of the answers to be as transparent as possible with what we're doing here as we build this cult colony. So our first question comes from Diana Robertson, who asks, "Is your show live?" It's it's alive. No, it isn't. It's not live. It is. We don't usually go live. We've only done a couple of live shows. I think we should do another
We're
live show.
probably due for one.
Like
I
yeah,
would say it's like South Park. It's like 7 days to air. Like every
yeah,
week,
yeah,
right before the new episode airs, we record, Anthony edits, and it's published within 10
yeah.
hours of it happening.
That's
So
exactly true. So okay, right now if my count is right, we're on episode 247. We're almost to 250, which would be a good live show.
that'd be a good live edsode.
you know. So yeah, we can talk about that. Maybe we'll do a live show soon. All right, let's see. Our next question. Katie asks, "What's your favorite trope slash theme in stories?" Steven, do you have like a favorite trope or theme that happens in stories?
Not in particular. Let me think about it. Do you have one while I
I mean,
think
I have a
and
couple. I'll
ponder?
tell you, like one of my favorite tropes is like a hero discovering their power, like whatever that may be. Like I always use the example of like Spider-Man or like Superman. Superman's a good example where like first he runs really fast, then he runs, and he jumps really high, and then he jumps even higher, and then suddenly he's flying, and you get that like cool montage. It gives you the
You get
goosebumps.
to experience it with them.
Yeah, you experience it with them, and you imagine this is what it would be like if I suddenly had this ability or suddenly could do these things. I like that, like the coming of age in a powerful way, sort of thing. I
I
really,
like I really like, and in romance novels, this would be like what, like enemy to lover, but
okay.
like not so much lover. I like villain or like enemy to friend
Mhm. Mhm.
or like comrade. Like
Right.
Vegeta to Goku. Vegeta is like the most evil piece of shit and then literally becomes like
Yeah,
basically Goku's brother. Or like yeah, just like when those situations, Loki and Thor, like watching Loki evolve over the
that is really cool.
the expanse.
That's a good one. That's a good
I
one.
do like that trope a lot. And even when it's done and I see it happening, I still don't care because I like it so much. Like
Oh yeah.
they make this character so hateable, but then so you see the like the diamond in the rough, and then that
Yeah.
diamond shows one finally shows.
That's another good point is like one of the like classic tropey theme like one of the themes that I really like is the kind of like be yourself, be who you are the diamond in the rough, but like, it's better to be yourself than pretend to be anyone else, even no matter how
Hmm.
well you do it. I always kind of enjoy that and it makes because I'm sure everyone can kind of relate to that. You grow up, you feel like an outsider in some various, fashion. You're just like, I don't really want to be over there, but I wish someone was over here a little, and you're looking for
Hmm.
your people. I guess that's kind of like a found family theme is also, something.
Found Family is a great one too. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is
Yeah.
just amazing because of that. Yeah, like finding like yeah, that's a really good one actually.
All right, so let's see. We have Matt asks chapter titles, yay or nay?
I love chapter titles personally. I
I like
love
chapter
like
titles
each
too.
I love things having its own little world like because the title can be like kind of like coaxing and like ooh what's going to happen in this
Actually,
chapter.
hang on. I know we like everyone hates Neil Gaiman because of, all the stuff he did. But also he did in the what is it? Anansi? Okay, in Anansi Boys, he has, like, for instance, chapter 6, in which Fat Charlie fails to get home even by taxi. So, like, all of them have, like, in which, and it's just like, it kind of tells you what happens, but not, and it makes
Hmm.
you curious. I like stuff like that. And I like things that are, like, indicative of, like, it's, like, suggestive. Like, there's something going to happen. We don't know what, but it's, like, it's cool. It's fun. Lavender Hayes said the unfortunate wants us to talk about the unfortunate similarities between the Emoji Movie and Wreck-It Ralph 2. I didn't see the Emoji Movie.
I
Did you?
didn't see the emoji. I actually didn't see either of those
Oh, really?
movies.
Oh, Wreck-It
No.
Ralph 2 is worth watching. Dude, it's super, I don't know, convoluted. Like the story
Mhm.
itself is absurd, but it's fun. It's like I really like the Wreck-It Ralph movies. They're fun. Okay, next we have Heather Pruitt asks us a bunch of werewolf questions, which
Ooh.
we'll get through. All right, ready, Steven? All right, you hit me with these answers. I'm gonna ask you a question. Let's do like a spitfire
We're gonna
thing.
do a Spitfire. Okay, I'm just gonna give you like even if I don't know it, I'm gonna act like I do and say my truth. I got
That's
it.
that's right. All right. When werewolves change, do they lose their clothes?
Yes, partially. If they have pants that were kind of stretchy, certain areas may stay on the werewolf's body, but no, for the most part, clothes are gone. They're naked afterwards.
Oh, I was okay. So the next question is, do the clothes change with them?
No,
Do the clothes
the
split?
clothes rip. They break through it.
Okay, when they change back, do they have clothes or are they bare?
They're bare ass naked, man. They're in the woods. They just ate something they don't aren't familiar with. Their stomach hurts because they don't eat wild game.
It's true. How expensive is their wardrobe?
Oh my
The
God.
final question. I
I can
could,
only imagine someone who has like lived the life like the seasoned werewolf has like stretchy like Hulk pants basically.
oh,
Like they're like, oh, it's that time of the month.
my werewolf pants.
I
Put them
need
on.
to put
They're kind of
I
like
gotta
your
put on my
best
baggy
thing,
pants. I gotta get my carton of ice cream. Like I'm gonna have a bad time for 3 to 5 days and then
Yep. Okay, so now we have questions from our friend Daly Downing. Daly asks, "What's the longest amount of time you think a human can primal scream before needing to take a breath, asking for a friend?" Been
ooh.
one of those weekends. Daly, the answer is going to surprise you. It's only about 40 something seconds, it turns out. I would have thought
Honestly, if I start yelling, I can feel like the blood rushing to my head and
you
like
start
I'm gonna
feeling.
pass out. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
pass
what it
out
is.
any moment
Yeah.
now.
So like internally, I'm gonna say we can do it for a long, long time. We just keep screaming. We just keep screaming until the scream comes out of our
The
eye.
forever scream is what we
Forever
call it.
scream. It's the darkness. No, no. Daly, I'm sorry you're having a hard time. I'm also having a hard time. I get it. It sucks. Hopefully, we only scream for a little bit, and then we don't need to scream anymore. Let's see. Sarah Bushway asks, "Is it me or has the average font size of printed books gotten bigger? I'm not complaining, but I feel like paperbacks used to have much smaller print. That's probably true, honestly. I think
Dan
it's
Rice looking at you.
well, yeah, yeah. I think it's I don't know. I'm gonna talk out of my butt for a second, but I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I think one, people have a smaller attention span these days, so I think there's less of the book, and so they tend to make the print a little bit larger so they can cover more pages. I also think that there's a new kind of affinity for like making text larger on your Kindle and such. So people are used to larger print now. Like I mean, you can make the print as much as large as you want. So why would you choose to look at your
It's
Kindle?
so funny because I know what you're saying to like on that first point is it's so human.
Yeah,
Humans don't want to read a book that's that thick, but they're not going to buy a
buy
book
a
that's
book
this
that's
thick because they're
exactly.
going to think it's like some sort of adolescent or
Yep.
whatever. Like it's not. It's beneath me. So
It's
you have to make the font bigger so the book still looks thick, but they can blow through it.
They blow right through it. Yeah, so I don't. It does seem that way with some books though. Tracy Shu says or asks, "Will quantum fiction help transform the publishing industry?" And he says, "I sure think so." He also asked if he could be on our show in the DMs. We haven't really been interviewing people who like aren't really good friends with us. Like we've done it a couple times in the past with like mixed results. Like we always try to help people in the indie community, like be it from comics or what like movies or music or whatever you want to do. We try our best, but having people just like jump on the show to like kind of give their sales pitch never seems to work. People really
For
want
anyone
anyone.
involved.
And it doesn't work for
It's not
us.
like we're trying to say no, we don't want you to like ruin it. It has nothing to do with that. It just literally it just has no effect for the person that came, and
Yeah.
our audience just kind of tunes out because they really do just come for the campfire Stephen and Anthony
Yeah.
talking. So
But all right, to answer the question, will quantum fiction help transform the publishing industry? I'd say no more than any other genre. Like I think it's one of those things where, well, if they're like, oh, it has to do with quantum mechanics, you notice we have a lot of like various multiverses right now. So I'd say that like it's pretty popular right now, but also I think people are getting fatigued, at least like to some degree, to
it's
the degree
crazy.
like
Like Marvel, like like Marvel's a great example, but like the multiverse for that was like cool for like a little bit. And
yeah,
then I feel like honestly it's because I think they didn't do it right in terms of like how it could be eh, like you made the great example. It's called Multiverse of Madness and we see a glimpse into one
yeah.
universe. Like
That was bonkers. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's just like anything else. It's you put out one Matrix and then you get a bunch of copycats. You put out Reservoir Dogs, you get a bunch of copycats, and like some of them are gonna do it great, some are gonna be terrible. It's just an era of variety until something evolves, and that's the version of the thing we love. And so will
mhm.
it transform the publishing industry? I don't think so. Not really. I think like what's transforming the
Not
publishing.
viewable maybe, like not like oh, quantum fiction did this. It's more or less like what you're saying is it's kind of casting a net out of people who are getting creative with that concept who might create the next thing that's
Yes.
after quantum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Or I mean, yeah. I mean, I think just like anything else, it's a niche thing that's like going to will have some variations of it that are going to reach a larger audience, but some are going to make a huge footprint with certain people. You don't know. Like some people are like, "Oh, The Matrix is my favorite movie ever," and some people were like, "Existenz made my soul spark," and like no one's ever heard of that movie. What are you talking about, idiot? But it doesn't matter. It's just whatever's important to you. So like, will it change the industry? Probably not. Will it change life for someone? Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see. PR Kaufman, run-on sentences, are they clever marathon of joy or just plain exhausting? Yes. The answer is yes. Because it depends on who you are. Are they clever marathon of joy? Sometimes, yes. Are they exhausting? Probably, yeah. Sometimes, right? Like, yeah. I think both. I think both is the simple. Let's just say in some universes it's definitely joy. In some universes it's definitely exhausting. In
it's
some
definitely
universes it's neither. In some it's both. In some it's
quantum
dinosaurs.
fiction.
Anyway, so that was our questions from the colony segment. If you have questions for us, make sure you ask them below, ask them on Twitter, join us on Twitter/X or whatever you want. I've also been doing this thing called Substack. If you haven't joined that and you enjoy reading or writing, especially reading, I mean, it's primarily for like artists and writers and stuff. It's really cool. It's actually been my favorite social media that isn't working for me at all. Like I can't figure out how to get like how to be
I don't
seen.
know what I'm doing,
I don't know what I'm
but
doing, but I'm loving it. No, but it is fun because like, dude, okay, so on Substack, you can post these notes, right? And notes just work like Twitter or Blue Sky or Threads or what. It's the same thing. It's just you post a little thought, you know? But you can also subscribe to people and read their like newsletters. And in the newsletters, you can post whatever you want. You can post pictures, you could post like an actual newsletter, you could post essays, you could post a novel, you could put like whatever you want.
Hmm,
So it's cool. It just gives you access to various creators
that's pretty awesome.
or yeah, it's cool. And so like if you want people's just short snippets, read their notes. If you want like to check out like the first couple chapters of my book, I've been posting that as like a newsletter. It's pretty cool, I think, you know. Anyway, I've been doing that. But Stephen, what are you gonna do this week?
This week, I am going to work, but then I'm also going to push and get these pages done on Bloodlust. I need to finish this page I'm currently working on and do at least one more, hopefully two is my goal.
Sweet. I'm gonna say this week I'm going to color at least one more page. Like, I'm going for one solid page. I'm probably gonna get two because I already have a half done. So like I should be able to get two solid pages done. But that's what we're doing this week. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know if you have anything going on. Let us know if you have any ideas on how I can make $1 million because I sure would like it. I mean, if you need commissions, make sure you contact me below. If you want to read our comic books, that would really help us out. We'd appreciate it. It's a really good time to buy our books right now. All of the digital copies and physical copies are available on our website at wehaveissuespodcast.com. Otherwise, you can find us on Twitter. Steven, where can people find you?
If anywhere you can find me, I should be at Stevie Wildcard. So I believe it's in. I don't use Instagram, but I am there. Instagram, Twitter mostly, but even Twitter, I'm not quite often there. But Twitter's probably your best chance. So Twitter is where you should go at Stevie Wildcard.
Awesome. You can find me at Anthony LaFauci on Twitter, and I'm unfortunately a mess all over the place with social media. My name is not distinct on anything. It's all over the map. I'm like Anthony has issues on Instagram, and I'm like I have to figure out my life, Steven. It's a
I
mess right
just went through once I decided I was Stevie Wildcard,
now.
self named. I just went through and changed as many as I could to that, so that way I was like, oh, consistent. Even like my place PSN is Stevie Wildcard and stuff like
Nice.
that. So I
I
try
love
to
that.
make it consistent.
Awesome. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the colony and sticking with us and asking questions and participating in this and supporting us in any way you can and helping me marry my fiance and live this life. I'm trying to hold out hope and stay positive. Steven, it's been rough, but I think it's gonna get better. I think things are gonna work out. We're going to have more hands on deck, and we're gonna push this damn rock up the hill and get rid of it one day. Steven, I need someone to like chisel the rock as I'm pushing at this point.
Can you chisel some grit, like get
Give me
rid of
like
parts of it so it gets smaller? And like
chisel it.
I actually do push it down the hill.
Did you glue something on? I mean, a snowman. No, I don't want a snowman on this rock.
What if it's like the first person to ever push the rock to the top of the hill? And they're like, great, you did it. Now you got to balance yourself on it on the way down. And every time you fall over, you start over. And it is painful, I tell
Oh, it's
you.
not
It
great.
is so painful because you've made it to the top. So now all that's left to do is go back to the bottom.
Oh, God, yeah, dude. I know, don't get me wrong. I know that once you get to the top of the hill, there's just another hill. I understand that.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that this particular place where we are, man, does it hurt my feet? Does it
I
hurt my
think that's the hardest part. The hardest part is pursuing something for so long
yeah,
and realizing and not having the same level of hope anymore, I think is what it is.
I
Because
know.
like there's that blind hope at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then like when things don't fully manifest, you're like, whew, now that I'm not powered by hope anymore, it's just like my grit. It is a tough push. We're
It
still
really,
pushing, but
it
that
really
is a tough push.
It really is. It gets rough. But we're getting through it. Some weeks are going to be harder than others, and we're going to figure this out one
Mm,
way or another. But we
absolutely.
do we do have good news. we are still working on our
There
books.
are still so
So
many
there's
like
always
blessings and so many great things happening.
yeah,
So
so I am very thankful for those things. I never want to complain to the extent that anyone thinks that I'm not thankful for the things that I have. So if you're out there right now and you're listening to this point of the show, just know that we love you and we're thankful for you, and it really means the world to us. I know it's a crazy show and we talk about like dead ghosts and or dead ghosts. Well, yeah, they're like dead humans who are now ghosts.
unfortunately,
What's crazy is that they are like, oh, I thought it was a ghost, so I made it. Now it's a ghost, so I'm kind of right. Like
you know
it's
what's crazy too, because I'm not sure if they used iron for bullets back then, but that's how you defeat ghosts supposedly is iron. So that guy was probably like, well, the iron killed him. So
it
like
worked. It
I don't know
clearly.
why I gave this British man from 1803 a southern accent, but
Now I'm gonna kill me some ghosts. Listen, but yeah,
listen,
but thank you so much. It does mean the world to us, and I know our show is ridiculous and silly. It's niche and not for everyone, but it's for you and it's for us, and we're thankful that you're here, and we're happy to have this colony with you. So thank you so much.
we
Anyway,
love
I'm
you.
Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. We'll see you next week.
Boom, 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 boom. I don't know the dance, but it's boom. Peacemaker. Can you hear me?
Yep, now I do.
Okay.
I see you and hear you. Nice.
It's so funny because I can like hear and see you for like 5 seconds
Oh, really?
before I
So you
like,
see me kind of like waiting. Like,
yeah, I'm like, and I'm literally the whole time going, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
that's awesome.
Until you finally hear me.
That's all. Yeah. For me, it's just like Steven Todd, and then it just does. It just takes a second. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just by myself, picking my nose, picking my nose.
Jerking it off. What? No, why?
Wait, no,
That is the riskiest jerk
we do
ever.
not have time, sir. Not with that attitude.